So I'm 19 years old. I'd been going to college a little bit, but that wasn't working out. I didn't really have the money for it. Dad wouldn't give me the money. And I was too busy partying. I wasn't focusing on my studies, even though I got decent grades. So I thought to myself, I go, look, motherfucker, you want to be in radio. You've already got radio experience, part-time jobs, yes, but radio experience. Why don't you just go get a full-time job in radio and start your career? So that's what I decided to do. Now, most people who live in Minnesota might want to stay in the Midwest. Not me, because I'm smarter than that. I decided to go look at a magazine called Broadcasting. In the back of that magazine, there's listings of people looking for announcers. I found one. This one happened to be in Arizona. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Arizona, it's hot. It's nice. Got cowboys and shit down there. I'm in. I'm going to apply for this job. So I apply for the job. And we go back and forth a little bit. Then I get the job. Now, here's the thing. I'm 19 years old. I'm living with my folks. And I accept this job. And then I go tell my parents, hey, I'm going to take a job in Arizona. My mom looked at me and says, how are you going to do that? You don't have any money. Well, the surprising thing was my dad says, I'll help you out. My dad says he'll help me out. I didn't understand why he was agreeing to do that at first, but then later I figured it out. Now here's a guy I had trouble getting money from college, for lunches, and he has a lot of money. Why is he willing to help me out here? Well, because it's going to get me out of the house 1,500 miles away. He doesn't have to deal with my bullshit. That seemed like a good investment for him. So my mom and my dad and I, we fly down to Phoenix, Arizona. We rent a car and we go up to northern Arizona. Now, I don't know what to expect. I've never been in Arizona, certainly not northern Arizona. A couple of things I found out about northern Arizona. First of all, the entirety of northern Arizona is at a level of about 5,000 feet. So that means you do still get snow and cold weather from time to time. So I wasn't completely getting out of the snow. Secondly, they ain't much up there. I was in a tiny town smack dab in the middle between Albuquerque and Flagstaff, a town called Holbrook. It was a town of 5,000 people, something like that. Now what's interesting, I'm a kid who was raised Lutheran in South Minneapolis. I now am moving to a town of 4,000 or 5,000 people, where the bulk of these people are either Navajo or Mormon. Navajo or Mormon. So while the Navajo and the Mormon people were wonderful people, this dumb white kid with a Lutheran background didn't really fit in too well. Nonetheless, I go talk to my future boss, and I realized something as I was sitting there. First of all, my boss, very nice guy, love the guy, good-looking 30-year-old guy who happens to be Mormon. His name is Max. He's married to a beautiful woman. They have about 1,500 kids. Very strong Mormon. And I tend to cuss now and again. So that's problematic. But we talk back and forth and everything's going well. He starts explaining to me who the staff is. I quickly realize there is nobody on the staff with any real experience in radio, including Max. See, Max was a businessman, and the guy who owned the radio station before owned a record store, and he was selling it. And Max cut a deal where he paid $5,000 down and took over payments. Never heard of a radio deal that way, but that's what Max did. And he thought, well, I can figure this out as I go. And he was a sharp guy, and he did pretty well with that. But he had no idea how to go on the air and talk. That really wasn't his thing. The morning guy was somebody who worked in local government. There was another guy who was a salesman who really didn't know anything about selling radio. And I thought, man, I'm going to be the only one here that knows anything. That could be good, or that could be really fucking bad. So anyway, my mom and I and my dad go out. They helped me buy a car. It was a 1973 Maverick. And it was an ugly car. But I needed a car to get around a little bit, and we locked that down. That cost me like $111 a month. Not too bad. Maybe a little over my budget, given that you don't get paid shit in small town radio. But then we went looking for an apartment. Now, I found an apartment. It was a newer building. It was one of those horseshoe-shaped buildings on a side street, and it was $185 a month. The problem with it is it wasn't going to be available for 30 to 45 days. What the fuck am I supposed to do for a month, month and a half, living in this town with no place to live? So I go back to my boss and I say, listen, man, I can't stay. There's no place to live. There's no apartments. He goes, oh, don't worry about it. I have a trade out with such and such hotel down the street. Now, if you don't know what a trade out is, it's where radio stations will trade commercial time in exchange for products or services. In this case, it would have been a hotel room. And I said, I'm going to live in a hotel room for a month, month and a half. He said, well, that's the best option I have, so let's do that. Anyway, I agreed to it because what the fuck am I going to do? I'm already there. I took the job. My mom and dad are ready to get the fuck out of there. So they leave, and I'm 19 years old. I'm a tough guy. But I felt a little lost. I'd never been on my own before, and I'm going, what the fuck did I just do? So anyway, I go into my apartment. Not my apartment, my hotel room. I walk in. I think I'm going to lay in the bed and figure this shit out. I open the door. On the right is the bed. My bed, it's empty. But on the left, there's a guy laying in the bed. Now, this guy is a very tall, lanky guy, curly hair, probably 35 years of age. And I go, who the fuck are you? He goes, I'm the new guy that got hired by the radio station. I said, no, I'm the new guy that got hired. He said, no, man, we both got hired. I said, what's your fucking story? You're 35 years old. I'm 20, 19. He said, well, I'm from New York. I moved to Los Angeles, got married. I was running an auto body shop, making about 40 grand a year, liking my job, but I always had this feeling that I wanted to be in radio. So I applied here, and they gave me the job. Oh, great. Another guy that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So I said, so you mean to tell me you quit a good job in Los Angeles, making 40 grand a year, to come here to make $600 a month? And that's literally what they were paying people at that point, $600 a month. Fortunately, I had other ways to make money while working there, so I could survive. He said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to seek out my dream. Fuck you. I would have took a $40,000 job in a fucking minute. So anyway, he starts talking. He's kind of a goofy guy. He likes to be funny. He thinks he's a DJ, but he's not a fucking DJ yet. And I said, so what's your plan? What are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to be a disc jockey. I go, okay. He said, I even got the gimmick planned out. I get gimmick. What are you talking about, gimmick? He said, my name. He said, my name is Mark Lewis, but I happen to be Jewish. I go, so? He says, on the air, I'm going to use the name Lou the Jew. I go, no, what are you talking about? You're in a fucking Mormon town. Are you crazy? You're going to use Lou the Jew? He goes, it's hilarious. I go, not in this motherfucking town it ain't going to be. I go, dude, do not use that name. Use Mark Lewis. Do the best you can. And I convinced him, fortunately, to not use that name. First day I go to work, I'm walking around, and all of a sudden my boss comes to me with all this copy, this commercial copy, from all the salespeople and everybody else there that's bringing in commercials. He said, Mike, you're going to have to read all these. I go, why am I reading all these? He says, because you're the only one that can read these fucking things and make them sound like a commercial. I go, I don't want to do that. He says, we'll pay you $10 for each one. I said, I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. And I virtually did every commercial on that station while these guys were fucking around on the air. It was a weird start to this. And the whole time down there, I didn't like it, but I learned a lot, and it was like a fucking sitcom. Just wait. You'll hear some of the stories, and they're fucking nuts.